This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
The time right now is 4:27 here on your Tuesday morning. We want to thank you for starting your morning here with us on RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We begin with shocking images coming out of Nashville from overnight. A tornado hitting a populated downtown area, damaging a number of buildings. Many people now left out of their apartments and homes because of this major tornado that you see right here.
That's right. You can see some images right now from that video. We heard some storms move through our area as well overnight, but nothing like they're seeing down here. You can see emergency crews. They're working, as we're learning from fire crews on Twitter, several building collapses.
About 40 building collapses, and that's
there.
Just as of right now. Obviously, as you can see, it's still dark down there. So once the sun rises, we'll be able to see a little bit more of what exactly the extent of that damage is, but awfully devastating for a very populated area, a booming city that has a number of cranes up right now, so we don't know if that played a role, so we'll be looking into that as the morning continues. We want to bring in our Alyssa Donovan, though, to check in on what our weather will be like here for our Tuesday.
So the good news is we are not going to see nearly what was seen in Nashville and Tennessee overnight, but we are seeing a little bit of that convection from that same storm system moving across the area right now. The good news is that convection is starting to taper off, but if you've heard any rumbles of thunder in just the past hour or so, and if you hear some in the next hour or so, don't be surprised, because some of that convection is hanging on. So we are seeing the potential of some lightning and some small hail yet this morning. A lot of that expectation, though, is coming to an end really just in this hour. Just be aware that we could hear that in the next hour or so. And then we also have the potential of just some heavy, brief downpours at times as you head through your morning. Today, as we head to work, those temperatures are going to be pretty warm, and that's really just a reminder of this warm air that's in the area, which is why we are starting to see the severe potential across the Midwest. And then we are also going to see some areas of fog as you head out. 55 degrees for our high, some gusty winds just as that system continues to move out of our area.
All right, Alyssa, thank you very much. We have two silver alerts that we want to alert you of this morning.
That's right. We are looking for a 25-year-old man in Franklin. Johnson County Police saying Paul Page may be in danger. A silver alert issued for him. If you know where this man is, please call police this morning. We are also following another silver alert. This is for a 6-month-old baby. Marion Police looking for someone named Parris Robinson, again 6 months old. So if you've seen that child, please contact police on your screen. This is the child right here, as you can see, so we'll continue to follow both of those cases.
Yeah, we've got a lot more coming up here for you on Good Morning Indiana, including hiring Hoosiers. We'll have that, plus news, weather, and traffic to kick off your Tuesday.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Parents can breathe a sigh of relief this morning as IPS says the buses will be running once again today. We have the details on the ongoing talks between the district and its drivers.
And voters in 14 states will cast their ballots today in the Democratic presidential primary. The impact today's elections could have on deciding who will face off with President Trump come November.
And a local teacher is helping students see the world outside their neighborhood. How her unique program is also helping curb crime in the Circle City. 4:30 here on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. We have Alyssa Donovan with us here this morning, breaking down our forecast for this Tuesday. The crazy thing, Alyssa, Meredith and I were talking this morning. I don't think we've heard thunder overnight.
I know. It's been a long time, and that's really a nice reminder that this is a good time for people to get their Storm Shield app and get prepared, because we are getting into that severe weather season, as we've seen just to the south of us overnight tonight, or last night with that tornado. We do have that potential over the next several months, so we're just getting started, so be aware of it. And we do have just a little bit of convection still hanging around this morning, and you can see most of that is just to the south of Bloomington right now. So if you are in Bloomington, you might be hearing some rumbles of thunder, and you can see on our map that we do have some of those lightning strikes. A lot of that convection is starting to move off to the east, but if you've been in Greensburg or in Richmond this morning, you probably heard some of that thunder, and if you looked out your window, you probably saw a lightning strike or two. Also seeing the potential of some heavy downpours at times just as the this system continues to move across the area. The good news is it's not going to last much longer. This convection is going to come to an end, and then we are going to be left with some calmer conditions this afternoon. By the afternoon, we do have the potential of some gusty winds, though, so that's going to be the next concern. Visibility down as well, so we have some developing fog across the area as you head out this morning. We're down to just 2 miles of visibility in Indianapolis, just a quarter mile up in Muncie. So if you're in the Muncie area, you definitely need to take it a little bit slower. So as we head into the afternoon, you can see those chances of rain are dropping quickly, but then we do have some sunny skies and also some gusty winds in the forecast. I'll break down those details coming up.
Alyssa, thanks. Here's a live look right now at traffic to our north. This is I-65, a view here at 30th Street. Traffic is moving along smoothly, pretty quiet in that area this morning. Let's take a look right now from our INDOT traffic camera. This is on the north side of town, I-465 here, a view at Keystone Avenue. Traffic is pretty quiet. As you can see, we'll continue to keep a close eye on those wet roads this morning, and of course, we'll keep you updated. Well, we have some good news for parents this morning. Indianapolis Public Schools says that bus routes will continue to operate as normal today.
But the district does say there may be some delays. This comes after a major disruption to service on Friday and a smaller amount of driver call-offs yesterday. The situation stems from an ongoing labor dispute between the district and bus driver union. A decision to switch transportation service providers will save IPS millions of dollars, but puts the future of drivers' jobs and retirement benefits at risk. Superintendent Alicia Johnson says conversations are ongoing with union representatives and steps are being taken to make sure students can get to school.
Still have conversations to have with union leadership so that we can confidently know, we won't be in this situation in the future. So we will have some drivers who are what we call doubling up their routes. So they'll drive their normal route and then pick up some additional routes. And then we have another transportation carrier partner who was able to have some drivers provide coverage for us as well.
Well, closed-door meetings are ongoing between the union and the district. Meanwhile, IPS students can continue to ride Indigo buses for free. At 4:33, turning now to the Democratic presidential race. It is Super Tuesday, arguably the biggest day of the primary campaign.
14 states are holding primaries today with more than 1,300 delegates up for grabs. Senator Bernie Sanders appears to still be the front-runner, but Vice President Joe Biden is hoping to ride a wave of momentum from his big win in South Carolina this weekend. Biden picked up 2 major endorsements Monday after Senator Amy Klobuchar and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg suspended their campaigns.
I'm looking for a leader. I'm looking for a president who will draw out what is best in each of us. And I'm encouraging everybody who is part of my campaign to join me because we have found that leader in Vice President, soon to be President, Joe Biden.
I cannot think of a better way to end my campaign than joining his, because
Biden also picked up an endorsement from former Texas Representative Beto O'Rourke Monday. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Mike Bloomberg are the 2 other candidates that still have the support to make a splash in the race. On the Republican side, President Trump has collected 86 bound delegates so far. His lone long-shot competitor, former Governor Bill Weld, has collected just 1. You can follow along with the Super Tuesday results right here on RTV6. ABC News coverage begins at 8, followed by RTV6 News at 11.
This is what a creek looks like more than a week after thousands of gallons of oil, contaminated water spilled from a manufacturing building down in Columbus. The oil mixed with water came spilling out of NTN drive shaft last Sunday when a fire water main broke. According to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, coolants and cutting oils mixed with the water and then moved through the floor drains to the outside. IDEM tells us cleanup contractors are using vacuum trucks to collect and properly dispose of the contaminated water, but some residents are concerned, saying their properties have been destroyed, and the process is taking too long.
My daughter walks every day her dogs and crosses this creek and walks back in the back. We own 80 acres, and this goes straight through it. We want the contamination cleaned up. We want our creek back.
IDEM says there was some accumulation of contamination product in the lowland or floodplain area along the creek. Crews are still working on the cleanup this week. They don't know how long that process will last, but they ask residents to avoid the creek while crews continue their work.
Russell Taylor, the former head of Jared Fogel's Jared Foundation, will get a new trial. This after a judge overturned his conviction last week. Taylor was sentenced to 27 years in prison back in 2015. He pleaded guilty to producing and distributing child pornography. In her ruling, Judge Tanya Walton Pratt said Taylor's defense attorney was, quote, lacking experience and preparation. Taylor's case will be retried. No date has been set yet. Meanwhile, Jared Fogel was sentenced to more than 15 years in prison. The former Subway pitchman must serve a minimum of 13 years before he is eligible for parole. That means the earliest he could be released is 2029. All of his appeals have been rejected by the courts.
Traveling gets them out of their comfort zone to a whole nother environment.
A local teacher is showing students how life outside the city could help reduce crime and open their eyes to things they never thought were possible. Claudia White started Youth Global Perspectives back in 2016. Since then, she's helped dozens of 8th graders and high school students see new places outside of their neighborhood. Students have to complete 5 courses which help to prepare them for their trip. They also participate in community service activities. White says the goal is to expose young people to new cultures, break down stereotypes, and show them that there's a whole world out there waiting for them to explore.
We've been to Cuba and Mexico, and then national trips. We've been to New Orleans, we've been to Washington, D.C., Virginia, we've been to St. Louis. We took a group of kids to Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They couldn't see someone that looked like them traveling to another country and actually studying and living over there.
Students get to travel at little to no cost to them. The organization recently received a grant for $15,000 for the next trip, which will be to Spain in June.
In college basketball, Purdue faces a tough challenge tonight as the Boilermakers take on number 18 Iowa. Purdue needs at least a pair of wins to feel safe on Selection Sunday. The Hawkeyes are coming off a 77-68 win over Penn State, while the Boilers' most recent game was a 57-49 victory over Indiana on Thursday. It won't be an easy road to victory for the Boilers. Purdue has only won 4 of its 10 games against ranked teams this season.
As the number of coronavirus cases continues to grow across the globe, China is finally starting to see a number of cases drop there. Straight ahead, what health experts say could be helping slow the spread of that disease.
And Mickey Mouse is synonymous with Disney, but the famous character has never had his own ride in the Florida theme park. Coming up, a look at how and when that will all change. Alyssa.
And we still have some showers moving across the area this morning, as well as patchy fog. I'll tell you how long that's all going to last coming up.
I am Beverly.
Welcome back. As the number of cases in the new coronavirus continue to increase here in the United States and elsewhere, China is seeing the number of cases there decrease.
Yesterday, health officials reported a 6th American death from the COVID-19 virus. The World Health Organization says now 9 times more cases of the virus have been reported outside of China than inside. Chinese health officials reported 125 new cases on Tuesday, the lowest since January. Health officials say that could be due to China's aggressive containment strategies. The most dramatic measure was the lockdown of Wuhan and nearby cities, which has put at least 50 million people under a mandatory quarantine. It's unclear if a similar measure will be taken in other countries facing large outbreaks. And here is something to consider if you're planning for spring break. Most travel insurance does not cover epidemics. In the majority of cases, once a virus is known, it is no longer considered an unforeseen event, so there is no related coverage. Some insurance companies explicitly state epidemics and pandemics as excluded reasons for canceling a trip. There are ways to buy travel insurance that might cover cancellations due to the coronavirus. They're called cancel for any reason policies, but they can be pricey, costing up to 50% more.
At 4:43 out in Washington, the Supreme Court will take up the fate of the Affordable Care Act again. A group of states led by Texas is challenging the constitutionality of the law. The Supreme Court originally ruled that the individual mandate, which is the requirement to to buy health insurance or face a penalty fell under Congress's taxation power. But when President Trump eliminated that penalty, Republican-led states claimed there was no longer a legal basis for the law. A ruling on the law is not expected until after the 2020 election.
Also in Washington, a federal judge has ruled that Ken Cuccinelli was unlawfully appointed to lead the agency that processes U.S. immigration requests. Cuccinelli is currently serving as the acting deputy secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees U.S. citizenship and immigration services. Advocacy groups filed a lawsuit claiming Cuccinelli's appointment did not meet the legal requirements to serve, and therefore he lacked authority to implement certain immigration policies. Those policies enacted by Cuccinelli are now void.
In California, a UPS employee has been arrested in connection to a mass shooting threat. Police say 32-year-old Thomas Andrews sent threatening text messages to his employer. Authorities say he was planning to shoot up the UPS facility in Sunnyvale, just outside of San Jose. Investigators discovered more than 20,000 rounds of ammunition inside of his home. They also found 5 tactical rifles, a shotgun, 3 handguns, and body armor. Andrews was arrested Sunday after leading police on a chase. He's now facing multiple charges.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff is apologizing for deputies who took and shared graphic pictures at Kobe Bryant's crash scene. And this morning, we now know 8 officers have been identified in the incident. Sheriff Alex Villanueva says the photos have been deleted. He also says the deputies are facing an investigation and possible disciplinary action, but would not specify what their punishment could be. According to the sheriff, the department does have a policy against taking and sharing crime scene photos, but that policy does not apply to accident scenes. Villanueva says he's shocked and disappointed by the actions of his deputies.
You know, it was such a hard scene dealing with the families firsthand at Lost Hills Station. All 3 families that were there, except for the pilot's family, they were all present, and reassuring them we're doing everything possible, and then to find out, you know, days later that this happened, it's just a sense of betrayal.
The LA County Sheriff's Office says it's now trying to make it a crime to take photos of scenes that contain human remains.
At 4:46, Shark Tank Judge Barbara Corcoran is breathing a sigh of relief this morning. That's because the nearly $400,000 that was stolen from her in an email phishing scam has been returned. The scammer tricked Corcoran's bookkeeper into wiring a payment to an email address similar to her assistant's. But the bank froze the transfer before it was deposited into the scammer's bank account. That gave Corcoran's team time to prove that it was fraud. Corcoran later tweeted, quote, "Lesson learned, be careful when you wire money." Back here at home, it is 4:46. Let's check in on our forecast with Alyssa Donovan. Alyssa, what's going on out there?
You know what, I wanted to show you, we've been talking about this tornado just to the south of us. We still have quite a few watches and warnings in that area this morning, so I just wanted to show you that. I know we're going to have an update shortly, and we do still have that tornado watch in effect for areas of Nashville, as well as a severe thunderstorm warning to the south near Memphis, and a flash flood warning across Paducah. So all of that active weather is due to this system that's been moving across the Midwest this morning and overnight last night. That is having an impact on us as well, but not nearly what they're seeing to the south. A lot of that convection is hanging around those south areas, and then we are seeing just a little bit of that convection still here in Indianapolis. So we are seeing just a few lightning strikes this morning and the potential of a rumble of thunder. You might have heard it overnight last night. Still the potential over the next hour or so to hear that before we start to see things calm down as we head into the afternoon. Still seeing some heavier showers to the south of us right around Bloomington and into Columbus right now. So if you are in that area, you could also see some heavy downpours at times as this system continues to push across the area. Next up, we are going to see some calmer conditions midday before we start to see those winds pick up this afternoon. So all of this low pressure system is going to track out of the region in the next few hours here. So any rainfall that we do have coming is going to not last very long, and then we will see some clearing throughout the day. As this system moves out, though, those winds are going to pick up. So we'll see a sunny afternoon. We still have that warm convection in the forecast, so that's going to allow us to climb with those temperatures again into the mid-50s. It is going to be a warm day today with a little bit of that moisture hanging around in the air. You'll notice that as you step outside, but the good news is we will see some sunshine, which is going to also help us warm up as we head into the afternoon. Those winds are going to pick up just as that system continues to move out to the east. So So we're starting the morning, just some light breezes, those wind gusts about 15 miles per hour. By this afternoon, we're close to about 35 miles per hour. So that's not damaging wind gusts, but it is something that you'll notice when you step outside. You'll start to see some tree leaves blowing and things like that. So as we head through the morning, though, one thing I want you to notice is we do have that fog developing as well. We're down to just 2 miles of visibility right now in Indianapolis, a quarter mile of visibility in Muncie. Expecting that to continue to develop for the next couple hours this morning, just as we have that warm air and that moisture hanging around. But then we are going to start to see that burn off as the sun rises, and then as we see more sunshine in the forecast. Temperatures starting in the 40s this morning with that cloud coverage. Then we'll start to see things clear out as we head through the day. Those gusty winds really come in this afternoon. Highs today in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, a nicer day, partly sunny skies, still a little breezy outside. Temperatures will be in the low 50s, and we're going to stay in the 50s for a lot of the week until Friday. That's when we're just going to briefly drop off. 60 by Sunday.
Alyssa, thank you. We want to touch down on that tornado again that Alyssa just mentioned. We have learned 2 people are dead after that tornado touched down in Nashville overnight. Authorities also saying a number of buildings and homes are damaged, destroyed there. The tornado passed through downtown around 1 this morning, traveling almost the exact same path as a tornado in 1998 that hit East Nashville. Authorities are urging people in the area to shelter in place and watch for downed power lines. This is a developing story that we will continue to follow throughout the morning, and we will bring you the latest details as they come in. Just devastating pictures coming out of Nashville this morning, though.
Yeah, and of course we'll keep you updated throughout the morning as we get new information back here at home. As Alyssa mentioned, dealing with some reduced visibility on the roads. This is a live look at I-74 near Acton Road there on the southeast side. You can see from the headlights there that it is a little foggy, so just use caution for your morning commute. The good news around the metro area, no major crashes or issues to slow you down, so let's plan out your drive. Taking a look at our traffic now maps. Heading in from the east side on westbound I-70 from Post Road to I-65 the north split. It's a quick 10-minute drive that is traveling up to speed. Visibility looks pretty good here to our northwest. A live look at I-65 and Lafayette Road from our INDOT traffic camera. Traffic in this area is moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound. We'll keep you updated on any issues as you're heading out the door this Tuesday.
Federal officials are working to make airplane bathrooms more handicap accessible, but it could be decades before it becomes the rule and not the exception. In January, the Department of Transportation proposed its first update to bathroom design rules since 1990. The airline industry is exempt from the Americans with Disabilities Act that sets accessibility standards for most businesses. There's another proposal in the works that would make restrooms bigger, but it could take 20 years to be implemented.
Mickey Mouse is iconic to the Disney name, but a theme park in Florida has never had a ride that features the famous mouse. That is until now. Tomorrow, Disney World will debut its new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Riders board a train and burst through the movie screen to join Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Duck, Goofy, and Pluto inside of a cartoon short, complete with a new song. Disney says the ride will also feature more hidden Mickeys than in any other attraction or area in the world. Students at Penn State say goodbye to a campus staple. Coming up, how they honored a place that gave them so much.
And coming up all new at 5, a unique program in Westfield is helping students brainstorm products that will help improve their futures. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live with a closer look at the Idea Farm. It's 4:52. We'll be right back.
At ZeroHungerZeroWasteFoundation.org.
Well, it's always hard to lose something that you love. That's why students at Penn State held a candlelight vigil in memory of a favorite campus hotspot. The Taco Bell on College Avenue recently closed its doors, much to the disappointment of many hungry Nittany Lions. The building's Purple Bell sign was gone, the windows boarded up, so Sunday students gathered at the location to say their final goodbyes. One student, as you can see here, appropriately wore a taco costume. Students say the vigil started off as just a joke on Facebook, but it quickly went viral. That's pretty funny. Where are they going to get their late night munchies?
I don't know. We'll be thinking of them.
Yes.
All right, taking a turn now. We do want to check in with Alyssa Donovan and our weather. It is a foggy morning out there. Some places still getting some rainfall this morning.
Yeah,
as well.
So we are seeing that rain moving across our area. That's all from the same system that is having an impact down in Tennessee right now. That area in Tennessee, just to the east of Nashville, including Nashville, still under a tornado watch. This morning, we know that 2 tornadoes touched down in that area overnight. That's according to the National Weather Service. Here, though, we're just seeing a few lingering lingering showers this morning and that patchy fog. We'll see sunshine this afternoon with gusty winds, highs in the mid-50s.